Hi, I'm Kathy Dye. Melody asked me to share a little bit of my heart. I've been a MOPS volunteer for a long time. I'm actually just rounding up 15 years. If you told me back in 1993 when I walked into my very first MOPS meeting that I would still be doing this MOPS thing in 2017, well, I wouldn't have believed you. Through a pile of name tags and acronyms, a long list of themes and years of changes and updates and more changes, God has continued to call me here. My kids are 21 and 24. My whole family helps make this happen. My kids really don't know life without MOPS. They've both been leaders in high school and college, and I know they've tapped in some of the leadership strategies and principles that have spilled over from their exposure to MOPS. They've sat through previews of training videos, helped make scene gifts, they 3-hole punched papers, and helped set up training events. Now as adults, they proofread for me, they listen to me practice presentations and prepare visual aids. Chase has picked me up at the airport. Alyssa has even attended MomCon, oddly enough, something that had been on her bucket list since she was a preteen. We are truly a MOPS family. Bart has shown incredible patience as he has shared me with countless hours of MOPS events, anniversaries spent at MomCon, seeing my tractor stop in the field so I can dial into a conference call, waited on phone calls that run into the supper hour. He's patient and he supports me. At our house, in our family, we all understand that God calls the shots on this gig, that we are running on the timeline that He has put before us. As I wrap up my 15th year as a MOPS volunteer, I do not know what the future holds, but I know who holds the future. So what makes a way past the preschooler stage mom like me stick around? Other than God has had some pretty amazing ways of keeping the call in my heart throughout the years. Jesus, people, relationships, Jesus. Seeing a mom reach out to grab onto hope and discovering that hope has a name and that name is Jesus. Seeing a struggling leader discover that she truly is equipped to do this thing, sometimes this hard thing, that God has called her to do, being her cheerleader, her sounding board, her prayer warrior, her friend, crying with her, celebrating with her. Is it easy? Nope, not always. Sometimes it's been hard, and honestly, I've been tempted to toss in the towel more than once. The difficult conversations, sometimes changes that I don't understand. Sometimes it's just plain old a lot of work. Sometimes the choices are hard. Saying no to something for MOPS when my family needs to have my full attention. Missing a school event when I have a MOPS commitment. When some of the leaders in my area were in an awful accident on the way to MomCon in Kansas City, it was hard to be a volunteer leader. But this I know, God always shows up. Every time God has been faithful, taking my hand. God has been faithful over and over again, walking beside me, whispering in my ear, giving me a wink or a nod when He lets me peek at how He is moving. How cool is that? This ministry is His, and as it grows and changes, one thing remains constant. MOPS belongs to God. He will move it. And as He grows and prepares us, challenges us, calls us to action, He gives us the words, or holds us to a period of waiting. So what do I see from here? Perspective. The gift of perspective, seeing where we've been and where we're going, watching leaders discover their potential, using the gifts God has given them, and watch them growing to do things far beyond their wildest imagination. A ringside seat to see how God has moved this ministry, seeing where we've been, how we've gotten here, and looking ahead to what God has in store. The gift of lessons learned, experiences, and applying them as we move forward. Progress in technology, in us as an organization, in the way that we research and learn about people. First convention I went to was in Denver. It was in 1998. I remember seeing moms lined up at the bank of payphones to call home, to just check in. And there was one mom. I saw one mom there carrying a bag phone. Fast forward now to MomCon, and there's probably not a mom there without a phone. Now we even use apps on our phones to engage attendees. Fusion and all its predecessors have given me a fit or two over the years, but no way do I want to go back to a floppy disk with questionable accuracy. That's where I started. Paper reports that we filled out by hand and mailed up the chain to be mailed on up the chain and so on. Social media has its challenges, but the potential to connect, the ability to connect with leaders, it's pretty amazing to think that much has changed in just 15 years here. People, moms, leaders, staff, fellow volunteers. I have a unique view of seeing all of you arrive at MOPS. The bittersweet view of many goodbyes. and the precious treasure of friendships that last long beyond the time we've overlapped here. Who are my go-to people when life slaps me in the face? My MOPS people. Friends who enter in a season and friendships that last far beyond our time together at MOPS. The relationships, the people. The leaders I've met serving in the prayer room at MomCon, the leaders I've only encountered long distance over the phone or through Facebook chat, and yet our hearts connect. Leaders who invited me to walk with them through the tougher part of their leadership journeys. Leaders I've cried with, prayed with, celebrated with. The MVS team, staff, remote and here in Denver, teammates. There is a special place in our hearts for MOPS, and that is where we stay connected. We stand here on the shoulders of those who have led before us. Their new frontiers become our learning stepping stones. Remembering where we have been and what we have learned prepares us to step into tomorrow with faith. Purpose. That's why I do what I do, and have for all these years. MOPS has been a vehicle to connect with so many moms that I would not otherwise have had the chance to reach. To help connect lost moms with a broad community of believers, across lines of denominations to help them find a place where they can belong and move closer to Jesus. That is where the connections happen. The introductions to Jesus, the friend evangelism, where other moms see Jesus in us. It's serving shoulder to shoulder with other Christians who push me to dig deeper, to learn more, to stretch a little further, to grow in my faith. To encourage new leaders to bravely extend their hands to moms in their community, to use MOPS to share Jesus. Leading in and leading on, leading like Jesus and loving like Jesus.